Hi everybody, TJ Mac Vintage Cards here, and today I'm going to do a video where I'm going to do a shout out, show off 6 cards, 4 football and 2 baseball. Before I do that though, I want to do a shout out to Canton Card Collector. This was one that's really long overdue. He was one of my first subscribers to my channel. Really enjoy his channel. We have a lot in common as far as the collecting of vintage cards. Specifically, he's into football. I love football cards as well. But he is diversified. He does baseball, basketball, and boxing. Just has a great channel, does some modern cards. There's quite a bit of modern cards on his videos. So really enjoy watching his channel. And this is a long overdue shout out for him. He has just over 400 subscribers. It's not about the subscribers though, it's more just a thank you for his support and just appreciation for the content that he puts out as well. So now let's get into the cards. First here is this 55 Topps Ed Mathews, or Eddie Mathews. I showed the 55 Bowman in my last video where I did a shout out and showed cards about a week or so ago. Want to show this one off today. The Bowman cards are more like symbolic of the 50s and the impact of color television and just its influence on the culture, which really gives that card a lot of standing. They're not particularly pretty cards, I would say, but these 55 Topps, like I said in the last video, are just beautiful cards. I mean, look at this great green background, just how it kind of goes lighter green and is almost white on the right side here. Beautiful white borders. Love logos on cards, and you got this great Indian here with the headdress and the Indian patch with the Braves logo and the tomahawk. Love signatures on the older cards, the great penmanship of the players. Just a great image, and then you got this portrait of Eddie Mathews here. And Mathews, you know, just him as a player, one of the best third basemen ever. I think anybody who knows baseball would agree with that. Over 500 home runs. Hit pretty decent for average in his career. Wasn't a 300 career hitter, but I believe was 280-ish in his career as a hitter. And just one of those guys that was a good teammate, tough guy. I talked about that in other videos where he would come to the defense of his teammates during games, and really not many people would decide to mess with Eddie Mathews because he was a tough character. And just like this pose here, it looks like he's going to be thrown over to first base here. Just a great image. And I'm going to flip over here and show the back. And you got this 50s style in the back here with the bright colors. You got the red and the greens, black lettering, red lettering. And then here they would show year in life, because I don't think they like to show the years then so they can market the cards outside of the 55 season, for example. So it says year in life for lifetime. You can see in 54 he had 40 home runs, 103 RBIs, 290 batting average. Like that green on the tops there. Just everything matches up nice. This is a really pretty back, I think. Not all the backs are that nice. This is one year that really does have a nice back. So that's that card. Next is this 89 Topps Tiffany Gary Sheffield. Building 30 key cards from the 89 Tiffany set. And Sheffield's one of the cards I wanted to include. This is his rookie card. It says Future Star on the top. It's a very young man here. I always thought when I was a kid in the 80s when the set came out that it was funny to see an older person with braces. And it was odd even too to see the necklace around him. But he wasn't really that old at the time. So that's the Gary Sheffield with the Milwaukee Brewers. Just flipping it over. You have the bright image of the Tiffany cards with the little star there. 89 Topps Company. And that little star, I think, is what signifies the Tiffany's, if I recall. And you can see the brighter back there. So that's the 89 Sheffield. And then here I'm going to do a few AFL quarterbacks and then one other AFL player. And this card here is just a great card in my collection. This is a second-year Joe Namath, like the Hank Aaron 55 Bowman. It's another TV set example. TV's 60 styles here. You can see the border there that would depict the border around the television where the picture would be slotted within. And you can see that there. Really nice, crisp image. These cards can be tough on the corners, but you can see the corners are pretty nice on this one. Bold lettering there with Joe Namath. Just love this card, and it's, you know, Namath is one of those guys that's a little bit polarizing within the hobby because of the fact that statistically his numbers don't really look that good today. In his career, he had 63 wins, 64 losses. Or I'm sorry, 62 wins, 63 losses. So he wasn't even a 500 quarterback. He had 173 touchdowns, 220 interceptions, just threw for over 27,000 yards. So his numbers are pretty pedestrian compared to modern quarterbacks. But what people don't realize is, I've said it before, if you really don't understand football at that time, you're going to get lost in the numbers and not appreciate how good these players were. And Namath was a two-time AFL MVP. He won Super Bowl III, of course, with the prediction that they would beat the Colts. And that was just obviously a legendary performance that still captivates football fans to this day. He was, I believe, a three-time All Pro, and he was a two-time MVP in 68 and 69, and the first professional football player to throw for over 4,000 yards. So Joe Namath, if not for his knees, would have been a spectacular quarterback throughout his career instead of just for a period of time in the late 60s. So he, again, is just one of those icons, similar to a Mantle or like I've talked about Bobby Hall and other guys like that in videos, where he was just synonymous with the sport, in many ways larger than his sport. I mean, he had crossover appeal with the ladies. Men envied him because he was such a ladies' man. Just a really cultural force in football and in pop culture in general, and just somebody that a lot of people, young people especially, could identify with. So that's Joe Namath, and I think if you don't really understand how good he is, I think you should watch videos on him just to understand his influence in the popular culture and in the football landscape at that time. And this next one is a very recent addition. I just got this in the mail the other day. Jack Kemp rookie. This has been on my list for a while, but as I said to some people in comments, I'm a pretty methodical collector, so I kind of just wait to the right time to buy things, and this is the time that I wanted to get this one. I'm kind of really getting more into the AFL cards right now, and I wanted to get this rookie card of him. I have a lot of his cards, didn't have his rookie though, and here he is with the Los Angeles Chargers at the time. And Kemp was kind of like Namath. The numbers don't really tell how good he was. He was 114 touchdowns, 183 interceptions, threw for just over 21,000 yards, and had a 46.7% completion percentage, which is really pretty lousy. But what people don't realize, that didn't appreciate and understand Jack Kemp, is he was a winner. He was 65 and 37 and 3 as a starter. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time AFL champion. The AFL was around for 10 years. He went to 5 AFL championship games. He was the AFL Player of the Year in 1965 and was really known as a great leader. And the only reason the Chargers let him go and he ended up with the Bills is because Sid Gilman, the coach of the Chargers, hid him on waivers, or so he thought, when Kemp broke his finger because he needed the roster spot. And Lou Saban of the Bills found him on waivers and paid $100 to get Kemp onto the Bills. One of the greatest steals of all time. And like Jim Kelly, Kemp did not want to play for the Bills. He wanted to play for the Broncos eventually because he liked skiing. But he ended up on the Bills, and he made Buffalo his home pretty much for the rest of his life, other than going to D.C. here and there with his political career. And I grew up in the Buffalo area, and Jack Kemp was not my congressman, but he was congressman, I believe, the district over. So a very popular person within the community, and of course ran for vice president in 1996 with Robert Dole, Senator Bob Dole, and they lost to the Gore and Clinton ticket. So that's Jack Kemp, and just again, a guy that I'm real happy to have in my collection, and nice to have a little local connection with him too. And then next up here, we got a third AFL quarterback. So you had Namath, who won 1 championship in the AFL, Kemp, who won 2, Lenny Dawson won 3. So these 3 quarterbacks won 6 of the 10 AFL championships. Like Namath, Dawson also won a Super Bowl. He was a 7-time Pro Bowler. He was a 3-time All-Pro. And unlike Namath and Kemp, Dawson's numbers hold up pretty well to today's numbers. 239 touchdowns, 183 interceptions, threw about a 57% completion percentage, and over 28,000 yards. So not quite up to the standard of today's numbers, but certainly isn't embarrassing himself in any way. And he was 94, 57, and 8 as a starter. So Outstanding player, Lenny Dawson. I don't remember him as a quarterback. He was before my time. But where I do remember him, and I'm going to bring this guy over, is on Inside the NFL with Nick Bonacani. And I watched this show, as I said in other videos, religiously as a kid. I would park my butt on Thursday nights at 8 o'clock to watch Inside the NFL on HBO in the 80s. It was how I really got my football fix other than the games on Sunday. And you only got the games that were on national television or your local games. So I got to see all the other teams on Inside the NFL, and that's really how I gained insight into the league and the players. And I just always love those Harry Callis narrations in Inside the NFL, and I still watch it once in a while on YouTube. I try to watch the old ones that they have on YouTube. And my favorite part about Inside the NFL is at the end when they would pick the games, Bonacani and Dawson. And I was a big Cowboys fan, and I just was hoping they'd pick the Cowboys every week. I was also a Bills fan, and I knew they weren't picking the Bills very often because they weren't good in the mid '80s at all. When I was really watching a lot of Inside the NFL, and if they didn't pick the Cowboys, I would be so disappointed. And just a lot of fun, and this is really for me, like I've talked about many times, is a big element of my collecting is this nostalgia and this connection to the past. So having these two guys in my collection, and when I do display my cards, I think of just those moments watching Inside the NFL. And this is a 63 Flair rookie, and you can see here the old Patriots logo, and it was Boston Patriots then. And Bonacani was a heck of a player too, 8-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All Pro linebacker, won 2 Super Bowls with the Dolphins in 72 and 73. And just a great example. These cards are not super easy to find, these 63 Flair cards. And the Dawson rookie's also in that set, but today I'm showing off the 64 Topps, which is his second year card. I'll just flip these backs over quick if you want to see them. There's the back of the Dawson. Nice blue color there. And there's the Bonacani. And I should show off the Kemp as well. Pardon me for not doing that. There's the back of the Kemp. So just some cards I wanted to share today. I really appreciate everybody sticking around, watching the video, and just sharing in some great cards and some great memories for me, and even talking a little bit about the history of the game, which I enjoy so much. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.